Cool, welcome. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. So my name's Liz, and joined this afternoon also by Anthony, who you'll find on the screen as T. I see he's popped out to get some ice right now, but we'll be back very shortly. So any questions you got through the afternoon, don't hesitate to reach out to either of us in the chat or unmute yourself and ask a question. So this afternoon, we are joined by Pat and Kenny from Cardrona. And we are super excited to have both you guys online. Kenny, we might need to unmute you there. But yeah, super excited to have you guys with us and to take us through the Cardrona story, your wonderful spirits. And Pat, you're going to show us how to mix them. This is going to be a cool afternoon. So I think what I'll do is, shall I hand over to you first, Pat?
Yeah, absolutely. Hello, for those of you that I know and love very much. Hello, it's great to see your face again via a screen, not necessarily in person. I did want to quickly just get everyone to smile and wave really quickly. I do want to take a wee note and punch this online so we can all share it together at some point as well. But yeah, no, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Pat Fraser. I am the Auckland Territory Manager for the lovely Cardinal Distillery. I've been based up here now for just over 2 years, and I still am yet to deal with the heat. So I do have a fan going on in the corner here. So if you are getting a little bit of noise, I do apologize for that, but I don't deal with the heat very well. So in order to get me on this, the fan comes with. But that's me. Joining me from the Cardrona team is Kenny. Kenny, if you just want to introduce yourself quickly.
Hey team, Kenny here, Operations Manager, Cardona Distillery. I'm upstairs in one of our tasting rooms at the minute. And thanks Liz and thanks T for having Pat and I to join you today. I'll tell you, you guys, you're sitting in the heat. We are sitting in the cold. It is freezing outside and it is raining. So you're not missing much of Central Otago today. It's a bit of a bleak outlook. But future whiskey falling from the sky. So excited to be part of this today as well. It's a really good opportunity.
Fantastic. Kenny, do you want to maybe just give us a quick little rundown of the distillery itself, a little bit of the history, and then what I can do is I can get us rolling on the first drink. And I realize it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I certainly am getting a wee bit thirsty myself.
I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir. Welcome to Cardona Distillery. It's one of the first things that anyone who walks through our door will hear. One of the most welcoming distilleries in the world, I always say, producing some of the best spirits on the planet. Not just New Zealand's best spirits, but making the world's best. That's always been our aim. We have been producing since the 5th of November 2015. It's the brainchild of Desiree Whitaker and her family. It's a family-owned and operated distillery. The McLeans, the Reeves, the Whitakers, and the Falconers are the families behind this little adventure. We are directly below the Cardrona mountain range, so all of our wonderful water works its way down through the mountain. It is over here, by the way, beside me out this window, but works its way down through the mountain, and we get some of the best quality water on God's green earth. We are very, very fortunate. The distillery is now, 6 years and 22 days old today, 5th of November, as I said, and single malt spirit is what we make. We are not a vodka distillery, we are not a gin distillery, we are not a whiskey distillery. Everything that we make falls under the made from malted barley category. So we like to make sure everyone's aware of that. The spirits that we make, vodka, gin, liqueurs, each and every single one to our own very high standards, just wanting them to be well received and to be the finest quality. How's that, Pat?
Pretty very spot on, actually, if I must say so myself.
I've been practicing.
5.5 years of practice, or six years of practice, isn't it? Well, look, what I might do is I might just get stuck into the first drink, just so we, can get a bit of fun going, bit of happenings moving through. And then whilst I'm making, sort of once I've run through this, and as we're tasting it together, I might get Kenny just to run through the spirits that are involved in each of the cocktails. How does that sound?
Yeah. I'm going to make it alongside you as well, Pat, because at the end of it, I think I want to have those drinks sitting in front of me too. Because I've got a room full of people downstairs, distillery actually bustling and busy today. And I reckon that they'll be well appreciative of me arriving with a tray at the end of it. And I'm going to do a few little tweaks to some of your recipes as well, just to show the diversity and a few little additives that you can add just to go that extra 10% magic.
As only you could, Kenny. Well, look, I'm assuming everyone's ready to go. Everyone's got all the spirits, everything ready to go. Got ice, glassware, things like that. Fantastic. If you don't, I'll make sure it's very clear so you can kind of follow along as such. Now, look, as we all know, New Zealand's second favorite cocktail, or one of New Zealand's arguably first favorite cocktails, is the Espresso Martini. Very easygoing. You'll find it just about in every bar under the sun here in New Zealand, and all over the world, actually, for that matter. So what I thought we'd do is actually just start with that. We make some fantastic spirits, one, of course, being a single malt vodka, using the malted barley that Kenny mentioned earlier. And we actually infuse that with a homemade butterscotch recipe as well. Pretty good combination for an espresso martini, right? Add a little bit of coffee, a little bit of sweetener, and good to go. So I thought, instead of bringing out all the bar equipment and whatnot, I thought I'd bring my homemade shaker, just in case, to show that you don't need all the bells and whistles to make a damn good cocktail. But I thought we'd start with some pretty damn good ingredients to begin with, right? So in your shaker of choice, or whatever vessel you decide to create a cocktail, we're going to put 20 mils of the Reed single malt vodka. So add that in. And then to that as well, you should have a little jar of some simple syrup, or some sugar syrup. And we only really want 10 mils of that, just a little bit to sweeten up. And then we're going to follow that in behind with our lovely Rose Rabbit Butterscotch Liqueur. And that's again going to be 20 mils. Now, look, for those of you at home, there may be a little bit more left over. So keep in mind, if you want to write these recipes down, that means you can recreate them after this as well. And then what we're going to do is we've got the lovely Harpoon coffee, the cold brew coffee, which of course is going to give us that lovely espresso flavor. And for that, we're going to go 30 mils. And that's going to go right into your shaker. So you should have some sort of interesting looking concoction at the bottom of your shaker. And to that, what we're going to do is just add a big scoop of ice. So load that up, get it nice and full with ice. We want to chill this cocktail and dilute it, but we want to chill it more than we actually end up diluting. So to that, you got a nice little iced sort of cocktail here. Screw your cap on, make sure it's sealed, and just give it a lovely good shake. Lovely, and that looks about good to me. So what we're going to do is grab your vessel, and this is an alternative step if you have it. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get this on camera, but I actually have a little fine strainer here. For those of you that have it, feel free to use it. It will just take away some of those smaller ice shards, and you should be left with a really delicious, thick and creamy little number. My strainer doesn't want to play ball just at the minute, nor does my jar, but we'll get through it. All right, and feel free to garnish that with just a little bit of coffee bean on top if you'd like. But that right there is a pretty damn good espresso martini using the Reed single malt vodka and our Rose Rabbit Butterscotch Liqueur. to go ahead. Cheers. Thank you all for joining us on this one. The first cheers of many.
Good health.
Oh yeah. Perfect little Sunday afternoon snack, I would say. So Kenny, do you want to maybe just run us through a little bit of the ingredients that we just used there?
Yeah, so the Reed vodka is a single malt vodka. It's 44% alcohol, made from malted barley, water, and yeast. So we use the exact same ingredients when we're making vodka as we do when we're making whiskey. The reason for that, very clear actually, and we'd like you to take this home with you, is because we like you and we want you to have the nicest things in the world. We do not use products that we would not be proud of. Barley, water, and yeast for everything. The Butterscotch Liqueur, now this one is cloaked in a little bit of secrecy. It is a secret family recipe for butterscotch, which we have infused onto our single malt spirit. And together it becomes, or just by itself, it's a lovely, sweet, almost Werther's originally sort of flavor. It's got a nice balance of sweetness, weirdly not too sickening. No butterscotch or butter or scotch has ever been harmed in the making of our butterscotch liqueur. But together with the Reed vodka and a little shot of either the cold brew espresso seems to have worked really, really nicely, or just a nice hot espresso. But the match made in heaven. And loving also, and one of my I would suggest my second favorite way to enjoy the butterscotch liqueur is to have it with just fresh lime in a tall glass or a rocks glass. It's a simple, the little bit of leftover butterscotch that you have. I didn't have any leftover. I threw it all in. I wasn't listening to the measurements. I was just getting greedy. But the little bit of leftover into a rocks glass, like so, with a little bit of butterscotch liqueur on top and a squeeze of fresh lime. Honestly, it is a life-changing beverage. For the Reed, the butterscotch liqueur. I don't actually have a big bottle of the butterscotch with me, but it looks like this, slightly augmented. Great instructions, by the way, Pat. My one looks perfect. I'm not sure. I can't see everyone else's video, so hopefully they're looking at the same. Hopefully they're looking at the same sort of caliber of drink.
Kenny, yours always does look better. But yeah, that is an absolute classic. Lovely and delicious. Like you said, Kenny, great use of the leftover butterscotch. The Sublime is a fantastic little number. Obviously we don't have we do have the chat going, so I'm sure that will be. What's that now? Sorry,
I can see the chat as people talk. It seems to pop up on my screen. I'm not a very good reader, but I'm getting the gist of it.
Well, there you go. If anyone does have a question at any point, feel free to punch it in. I'm sure Kenny will monitor that well for us. So look guys, that's the first one. Welcome, and again, you know, that's the good little way to start the Sunday, or so the Saturday afternoon. I personally want to jump onto the next one as soon as possible, because it is my favorite and I feel like it goes really well with the current Auckland weather. For those of you,
both of the people in the chat, Pat, have two people at least. So I'd suggest that they're wanting a second drink, for one for each person at least.
Okay, one for each person. Okay,
make it happen.
I will get that on right now. So
I've just got a question about that butterscotch.
Yes.
So you must obviously make that in just like the mashed, oh, not the mashed tuns, but in your next, whatever you call them. Is it just like a mess to make and then clean up afterwards? Like, I can just imagine really just being the stickiest mess like ever. But
yeah, we've gotten really, really good at making it, and the team, you'll have walked around the distillery with us before. We keep the place immaculate. Oh, nice looking froth on that, by the way, T. That's a good looking martini. The mess is contained, and because of the technology within Cardona Distillery, most of our tanks are CIP, so clean in position. It's like owning a dishwasher, but in large 10,000 litre capacity format. They're pretty clean at the end. As well, think about it like this. Alcohol is in itself a really good cleaner. And we have lots of great alcohol.
That we do, don't we, Kenny? Well, look, I might just crack on because I am thirsty. I am having a lot of fun. I do tend to get a little bit carried away every now and again, as I'm sure a few of you may have witnessed from time to time. But look, this is an absolute classic. This is just going to be our sauce and tonic. However, what we're going to use is a slightly different variation on a tonic water, which plays really nicely, brings out a lot of lovely flavors, and it's one of my favorite ways to drink it. But of course, like with any good G&T, feel free to play around with tonics of choice. So what I've done here while I was just chatting is I've got some lovely large ice cubes. They're fantastic. I highly recommend if you're swinging past Kmart next time, feel free to grab yourself a couple of molds. Cost a couple of bucks, but they really do add a great form of ice for any cocktail or long drink for that matter. So what I'm going to do, guys, is grab yourself your wee little jar of your Source Pure Cardrona gin, which is this one just here. And what you're going to do is add 30 milliliters of that, which is a good wee slug. This is also 47% alcohol, which I'm sure Kenny will jump into in just a little bit. But the flavors in this are absolutely fantastic. So go ahead and add that in. And then to that, you want to grab this lovely little pink wee can that we've got here, courtesy of East Imperial, and crack that. And now, what I like to say to people is I always like to kind of just put this can's 180 mils off the top of my head. Yes, so I like to add about 100 mils to 30 mils of gin. That way, you've got a little bit extra. So if it's too strong, or if you don't like the flavor combination, you can just kind of tweak it as you go. Add and sip until you find that perfect little combination for you. Now, I personally don't have my favorite garnish, which is also Kenny's favorite garnish, unfortunately, but I do have fresh lemon. I will get Kenny to explain his favorite garnish for this wee drink. But what you can do is just take a little squeeze of lemon and just dump it in there. And if you have a wee spoon, which I do right here, just go ahead and give that a wee little mix. And I think it's time to cheers again, is it not?
Cheers, Pat. This is my favorite garnish. This is thyme, and this is one of Central Otago's greatest little secrets. It's everywhere. It covers the hills. They're pink. They're alive with this scent of thyme throughout the year. And for me, I love everyone needs more time in their lives. That's just an offshoot, and more time outside. That's also true. And with our time, I always love to wake it up. So just by itself, it's nice, it's scent rich. And this is something obviously aftermarket, grab this later on. Give it a wee smack, wake it up. It smells just brilliant. And then into the top of the glass. This is really for scent. This is for smell. And this isn't necessarily just going to change your world completely, but I tell you what, it will make you think of Central Otago. A lot of time on your hands, Kenny. Stop it, Colin. These little that I always think of our signature, a little pin, and in a nice big balloon of a gin glass. We Pat, I didn't know you were going to hold back on the tonic there, but also I didn't know that I was going to put a little bit of extra gin in there too. I think personally, yeah. It's fine, yeah. I'm happy with this, and I hope you are too. Sometimes a little bit of juniper just floating around inside. I find it to be more hassle when it comes to, especially at home. I don't tend to go putting an awful lot of juniper in. As well, Pat, I tend to go for the peel, just the peel. I love lemon peel, I love orange peel. And I find it's got such great flavor. And you may have seen as I was doing it, making the drink, what I'll do, I'll give it a wee squeeze, get those nice little oils into the glass, then take it up the stem of the glass, around the edge of the glass and into the glass. For the rest of the day, your hands will just have this beautiful little scent of lemon, and you'll be wondering who's making the next G&T.
Well, cheers to that, Kenny.
Psychological journey.
Now, there is a question that we frequently get asked at the distillery. Now, what you may have realized if you look at that wheat gin and tonic that you've made, it may have gone slightly cloudy. Now, Kenny, do you want to maybe explain that for the people at home, why that happens?
Sure.
It's not a
So,
fault. The gin is not broken. I
No.
promise you that the gin still works. But there is a reason for that. Kenny, do you want to explain?
It's quite cool, and it is a choice as well. So when we make our spirit, we make it from malted barley, and we put it through a kind of a gauze filtration. We would never think to put it through a carbon filtration or anything like that to remove, because that would remove quite a lot of texture from the spirit. When we distill that spirit through juniper, coriander seed, angelica root, lemon peel, orange peel, and rosehip, that's our 6 botanicals. As the spirit's kind of passing through them, it picks up a lot of their oils with it. On the journey, they travel along. Now, when we make our gin, we choose 47% alcohol, because 47% alcohol is our saturation point. If I was to take that gin and add another, I don't know, small amount of water to it, the liquid in the glass, even with water, would become a little bit cloudy. All of the oils would start to come together, they'd start to congeal. And in the world of spirits, the only way to, I suppose, avoid that if you've done a spirit like this is to put it in a colorful bottle that nobody would ever care to worry about. And personally, we made the choice to make it at 47% because of its saturation point. And it is a really, really nice thing to see on the bar or in the club. It definitely is the highlight if you're walking around in the, not that I ever go around nightclubs anymore, Pat, but it shines like a beacon. Always you'll know whether or not someone's missed your gin as well.
If you order a round of gin and tonics at the bar and one of them happens to be the sauce, you will realize very quickly, and you'll know exactly which one is yours because of the cloudiness to it. Isn't that right?
The 6 botanicals again, and they're written on the back of the big bottle, so you might have to get one of those. But juniper, coriander seed, angelica root, lemon peel, orange peel, and rosehip. Just the 6. Thanks for asking, Colin. But more important, I always think, than any botanical that's in there, we use the best single malt spirit in the world.
There you go. All right. Everyone feeling good? Everyone happy? Everyone enjoying themselves? I know I am. I kind of ripped through the first couple quickly because this next one is actually probably one of my favorite cocktails of all time. It's a slight little riff on what I believe to be the slightly better version of a margarita. Now, margaritas are fantastic. I will not lie. I will not argue with that. But the long lost cousin of the margarita is the wonderful Paloma. And having spent many years in Austin, Texas, for those of you that have been there, you'll know that the most Texas thing possible is to order a Miller Lite and a Paloma or a margarita at the same time. Now, we don't obviously make beer, but we do make a very interesting, we also don't make tequila, which is the main ingredient. But what I've done is I've actually substituted that with our single malt vodka because of that lovely characteristic, because of that lovely rich flavor in that spirit. It actually makes a wonderful substitute. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that Reed single malt vodka again that we've got. And now, whilst I was talking again, as you can see, I've actually salted the rim of my glass, just using a little bit of lemon juice around the top. And then I've just dipped that in slightly. So I've got that lovely, almost frosted, salty rim on the top there. And then what I'm going to do to that is just add a couple of cubes of that lovely thick ice that I've got. If you don't have that, that's totally fine. Just fill the glass as much as you can with regular ice. I can't stress that enough. I believe that you always want to have your drink as cold as physically possible. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go with 30 mils. I say 30, but whatever you've got left of that wee reed vodka, just feel free to add that straight into the glass there. And then what we're going to do with that lovely wee salted rim, grab this wee can here again, this green can that we've got, courtesy of East Imperial. This is a grapefruit soda, which is absolutely fantastic, using grapefruit essence, soda water. It's lovely. It is a fantastic company. And it's a bit of a cheat sheet, which is great. Normally this drink is made with fresh grapefruit juice and topped with soda. However, this grapefruit soda from our lovely friends at East Imperial, I think, is actually a wonderful substitute, and especially with that reed vodka, gives us a lovely, lovely, lovely little flavor. And again, go ahead, and if you want that same little lemon wedge that you use to salt the rim, just feel free to give that a wee little squeeze, dump that in the side there, and then give that a little quick stir. And here we have an absolutely fantastic wee refreshing Paloma and my favorite cocktail of all time. Cheers, team. Take a sip, enjoy it.
I often find myself, Pat, taking the reed vodka and substituting tequilas out and it in. My my other previous favorite was the Rindarita, where it's all the exact same ingredients as a margarita, except instead of tequila, so it's equal parts reed, lemon, lime, and orange liqueur, rose rabbit. It is very nice. Whomever said that, you are correct.
Oh yeah.
Perfect. It's a sunny day.
Perfect for a hot summer afternoon. Perfect for a lazy Sunday breakfast, brunch, boozy brunch, whatever you honestly, whatever time of the day you believe in. This is my absolute go-to.
We have been asked here, Pat. You seem to have a lot of favourite drinks.
Now, without getting too carried away, I do have a lot of favorite drinks. Drinking is my favorite. It's not my favorite. That's a total lie. But no, I do have a lot of favorites because I don't like to put one above the rest, because I feel like every time of the day calls, or not necessarily every time of the day, but drinks are very personal. Drinks for me are more like memories. You know, if I want to invoke a certain emotion or a certain feeling, or if I want to take myself to a certain time or place in my life, or if I want to escape a certain time or place in my life and put myself, for instance, right here in either Austin, Texas, or, you know, my times in Mexico, this is where I want to go. And so for me, I have a lot of favorite drinks. But for me, it's more about the memories and the feelings and the association that drink gives me. You know, whether it be a lovely single malt whiskey, whether it be a pint of Guinness, whether it be a lovely Paloma, whether it's a simple gin and tonic. They're all my favorites because they all make me feel a particular way. They all generate certain memories for me as well. So forgive me if I do keep reiterating that. But yeah, it is true. I do have a lot of favorites. It's good to have a lot of favorites.
I'm going to say as well, they wouldn't have made the list if they weren't Pat's favorites. Not today.
Exactly.
Very well answered, Pat. And I think, you know, I was listening to something this morning and it said that really, you know, whether it's wine or spirits or whatever the alcoholic beverage is, the essence of everything is conviviality and sharing it with others. And, you know, I think you've just summed that up perfectly.
Well, thank you. Yeah. And, you know, for those of you that are aware of, you know, Thanksgiving culture in the United States, which was just yesterday, the United States is a place that I is very close to my heart. So it's nice to feel thankful for certain things. And like you said, the essence of spirits should be shared in good company. And that's what we try to do here. You know, we try to, at the distillery, we make lovely spirits, but not only do we make them, we try to share them as much as we possibly can with everyone that walks through the door. with everyone that jumps online, whatever it may be. You know, we're always trying to share our lovely experiences.
I think what Pat's trying to say there is it's a wonderful gift. If, let's imagine, there was a gifting season approaching and you wanted to buy something perfect for that loved one, or perhaps a person that you dislike. It's still nice to mend bridges with a wonderful shopping experience, either with Glengarry online or you can visit the Cardrona Distillery website. Or the distillery when you all come down on the 15th of December, which I know you will be.
There you go. And also to that as well, you know, with the current state of the world and you know, us in Auckland being locked down, it's nice to teleport oneself to places, you know, that we dream of visiting one day, whether it's Hamilton, whether it's Europe, somewhere in Europe. It's nice to envelop feelings and emotions of places that we long to travel for at some, hopefully some near future. So yeah, that's the Paloma, substituting the reed for a lovely Blanco tequila, and I hope you guys enjoy that just as much as I do.
Good health.
Good health. Now, Kenny, how is the distillery going? Obviously, things are.
We're reasonably in good spirits always. We had the rug pulled out from underneath us back in August, and it has been hard without you guys. And we have still seen some numbers, obviously from the island that is, I suppose, relatively free. It's a different world out there at the moment. But we are just as warm and welcoming as we have always intended to be. And the season approaching, come December, we're beginning our tours every half hour at the distillery. So we're preparing for visitors, and I tell you what, we've got some exciting things on their way. I'm not going to give away anything today, although, you know, I have in the past shared far too much, but there are some exciting things happening at Cardona Distillery. Just you watch this space.
I feel like a lot of people are watching very, very eagerly there, Kenny, which is fantastic.
I was going to say, Kenny, I think there's a whole heap of faces going, please do share too much.
I know, and you know, I would never put this sort of information online, but we've been speaking with architects lately, and watching the landscape changing. I think that's what you'll all be seeing in the next little while. Cardrona Distillery just growing from strength to strength. I'll not say any more.
We'll keep you on your toes, Tim.
Yeah. Growing for the future.
Very much so. How's everyone doing? Are we? I feel like I'm ready for the next one.
Well, your glass is empty, Pat.
My glass is empty, but also more importantly, Kenny, as you will appreciate, I'm keen to showcase a new spirit. Well, not a new spirit, but a new spirit into this tasting. Another spirit of ours, which is taking a lovely local ingredient, which obviously, Kenny, you're more than welcome to jump into in a little bit. A local ingredient that we incorporate into one of our lovely liqueurs. So what I will do here, guys, is again, if you want to grab that last little remainder of the Source Pure Cardrona gin that you've got here, and what we're going to do is we're going to jump 20 mils into the glass here. I've just got a couple of ice cubes in here. Doesn't require shaking, which is great. I tried to keep this one very, very easy, very simple. You can make these on the go. You can make them in bulk for cocktail parties or dinner parties or whatever it may be. But I wanted to incorporate that. And then what we're going to jump into as well, let me just find it. Here we go. Is the Rose Rabbit Elderflower Liqueur. Now, I will get Kenny to expand just a little bit once I've finished here. But if you want to take 15 mils of that wee number and just go straight on in the glass there. And then what we'll do is we'll take, again, just a little bit of that lovely lime juice there, which again, you've got in that wee bottle. And we're going to take about 10 mils of that as well. Again, dump that right on top, just like so. And then again, courtesy of our friendly folks at East Imperial, take one of your lovely little classic soda water bottles here. This is actually one of my favorite soda waters. I love how effervescent it is. I love the sparkling notes on it. And again, what we're going to do is just add that in just like so. And these bottles are, again, about 150 mils. So feel free, like last time, to add about 100 mils. If you want to adjust your flavors, if you want to adjust the strength of that, by all means. And then to that, you can add a couple of different garnishes if you'd like. Fresh elderflower obviously is fantastic, but I can understand that's sometimes quite difficult to come across. I actually like to use just a tiny bit of fresh mint. And again, just jumping in with that lemon wedge as well. The lemon plays really well in the elderflower liqueur, which Kenny will just explain here for you as well. So this is what we like to call a bit of a Collins-styled cocktail, or a bit of a spritz-styled cocktail. Kenny's actually got a wee surprise here for you. So what I'll do is I will cheers to you all with this, and I'll let Kenny take the floor and show his little twist on that.
Yeah, and good health, everyone, and well executed, Pat. The surprise, I suppose it's not really a surprise. It's just a different twist on classic, because it is a nice drink by itself. It's on the sweeter side, a little bit of citrus. Elderflower grows throughout central Otago, and at this minute in time, although it's raining and wet outside, the hills are white with elderflower. It's just blossoming all over the place. It's got this lovely, lovely perfume. Now at the base of the spirit, again, single malt spirit, but now with elderflower and lemon and a little bit of sugar. I love a Collins, and every time I make one, I'm always kind of drawn back to an experienced Pat, and it's a Danish Tom Collins. Normally they would add a little akvavit or something to it, but personally I like to kind of bring that essence to it. And this is a spring one, but here I have a little bit of dill. And just a moment ago, I put a little bit of pickle juice into the drink. And you might think that is a strange addition, and you'll see stranger things, I'm sure. But dill, again, before you do it, give it a wake up. Smells delicious. In it goes. Just it brings a little bit of height to the drink. And on here, you'll see these pickled onions. And it's crazy, I know. We do crazy things sometimes for the love of good drinks. But I call it a Danish elderflower Collins. And it just sings of savory and sweet and citrus, and it's a completely another level to what you so I'll tell you what, you've probably got a few of those things in your refrigerator already. Don't knock it till you've tried it.
I'll cheers you to that there, Kenny.
Good health.
Good health to you too.
So we love elderflower. It's one of those lovely ingredients that we go out and forage for. We see it, as I said, covering the hillside. The local farmers, they allow us to go out onto their land, up into the hills, and to take as much as we need. We usually send a whole team of front of house and distillers out and about. You'll see some pictures emerging in the not too distant future. The team get out and start picking, and it's only the white flour that goes into the tank, the tank to make it. But lemon juice, lemon peel, elderflower, and it's Christmas. And I know it's funny for me as an Irish person. Normally, Christmas is a very wintry, snow-covered time back home, but in New Zealand, elderflower liqueur is Christmas in a glass. It's a dangerous drink to open on Christmas Day, and it works very well with soda water. If you can't afford soda water, champagne seems to work really, really nicely with it as well. And the joys of that drink is a crowd pleaser. Ultimately, instead of any sweetness needed in a cocktail, that is the answer.
Well said, Kenny, well said. All right.
I love that little
Everyone
touch of fennel and licorice. But the pickle juice, yeah, it doesn't sound like everyone's cup of tea, but I tell you what, you'll love it when you try it, and your friends will think you're crazy, crazy, crazy awesome.
Absolutely not. Now I see a couple of people have switched their videos off, so I just want to make sure we're doing okay and we're not ripping through this too quickly. Hopefully everyone's still present, still doing okay. I know we've been sat down, so hopefully no one stood up too quick. But that being said, I do want to crack on to the next wee one that we've got lined up. Again, this one's slightly different. It's a riff on a classic. It's a very well, it's not an unusual drink, but it's incorporating obviously not only a new spirit into this tasting, but it's incorporating one of my other actual favorites, which has been a long-standing member and family member of the Cardona Distillery. So what I've got here, guys, is our Rose Rabbit Orange Liqueur. Again, Kenny will jump in a little bit, and what he will do is kind of just run through quickly what entails our Rose Rabbit Orange Liqueur. Sorry, I just dropped a wee lime here. So what I've got here, guys, just in the bottom of that is I don't unfortunately have any limes because of the price of limes. It's absolutely through the roof right now. I do have some lemon, but what you can do is we do have some of that lime juice from before, which is just here. So if you don't have any lemons, that's okay. Feel free to just substitute, and I'll get to that in a second. But if you do have some lovely lemons, or even if you do have some limes, feel free to get a couple of wedges. This step is optional, but what you can do is just muddle those slightly and break them down. I've got a lovely wooden muddle here, and just press them down into each other and smash them up a little bit. What that'll do is just release some of the flavors, some of the oils, obviously some of that juice as well. Then you'll kind of end up with like a slightly mushy, lemony, limey type number. And to that, all we're going to do is add 30 mils of that lovely orange liqueur. And that's going to go straight into here. And then what we're going to do as well, if you have it, if you don't, that's great, no problems. Grab some mint leaves. I usually like about 4 or 5 of them. Again, just give them a bit of activation, little clap. You can even brush them on the back of your hand. All that's going to do is wake them up a little bit, release a little bit of those oils. So then you'll have a kind of number that looks something like this. Give that a quick little stir. What that's going to do is infuse a little bit of that spirit with that lovely citrus element. And then, of course, for those of you that don't have citrus, what you can do is just add 10 to 15 mils of that lime juice. That citrus is going to play a lovely wee part in this number as well. And then grab some ice. Forgive me for looking down. Chili winners beneath me. And then to that, top that guy with as much ice as you can fit. Just like so. And then take, again, that lovely wee bottle here of soda water, courtesy again of East Imperial. Take great care of us. Open that. And then you simply just want to top that just like so. And so this is basically a take on a wee mojito number. Instead of incorporating white rum, lime, and sugar, we're using our orange liqueur because it's got that wonderful citrus element. And as you can see, I'm just kind of stirring this around and lifting some of those ingredients off the bottom, just like so, stirring and stirring. And then what we want to do is again, take one of those lovely bunches of mint, give it a wee slap, activate it again, and garnish on top. And we've got a lovely wee Rose Rabbit Orange Mojito. So, to a refreshing Saturday evening, guys, thank you again. And I'll cheers to you.
Cheers to you, Pat. That is summer.
Oh, oh, isn't it just?
Thanks, Katrina.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Gets the imagination going as well. So Rose Rabbit Orange is a staple here at Cardona Distillery. It is made from the same single malt spirit, so malted barley, water, and yeast. We've put Gisborne navel oranges on that spirit for about 7 weeks. And in that time, all that orangey pale flavor kind of sits in and sets in. And then we add some sugar, we add some water. Robert's your mother's brother. Out comes this beautiful little Rose Rabbit. It is 47.8% in alcohol. It is a very, very strong orange liqueur, and for a very good reason. We've always said it. We make things for flavor here at Cardona Distillery. It is not about the alcohol. It is about the flavor. And when we got to 47.8% with this spirit, we put it into bottle because of the taste. Without speaking to the accountants, without asking questions of our obligation, 47.8 was the perfect strength. And you'll know this if you've got a little bit of that orange liqueur left in the bottle. Taste it as a straight liqueur. It is so approachable. It is very, very delicious. It is not aggressive. It's trying to be your lovely friend. And I love it in cocktail combinations, margaritas, cosmopolitans, that sort of thing. It makes perfect sense to just upgrade and give yourself a better experience. Into cold Earl Grey tea on a hot sunny day. Bloody nice orange iced tea. And dress it up like a pin's cup. Put a bit of mint in there, a bit of fruit in there, a bit of cucumber if you've got it. And your neighbors will start wondering why you drink so much bloody tea. Into whiskey. I know that you shouldn't be messing with whiskeys, but it's like the quickest old-fashioned in the world. And I tell you what, actually, Pat, into orange juice in the morning, you'd barely notice it was there. It's delightful.
You'd barely notice it, wouldn't you?
You'd barely notice it. That is, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, Kenny, that's super delicious, and you've given us lots of ways to drink it. I think also you could use it with cooking.
Yeah.
You could drizzle that over a sponge cake or like and can you imagine? Just be amazing. Or you could actually make some white chocolate brownies and then pour it over it. Yeah.
Or orange and poppy seed cake with this, and that's exactly it. Put a load of holes in the top of it. It's not for kids though. Yeah.
No, but that's okay.
We've put it in parfait in the past. We've put it over duck and cooked it into the oven for that duck à l'orange. Onto crepes for a Suzette. That there, it's a party on a plate. Once you light this on fire, she lasts and burns for a while. It is the ultimate orange liqueur.
Oh, you've given me so many ideas now. Like a pate as well.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what we did. It was a chicken liver pate.
Yeah.
Sorry, parfait pate. Same. Yours is more rustic. We go for perfection.
Gotta have a bit of rustic and pate. Sorry, Pat.
Hey, that's okay. I'm as rustic as they come. There's not much refined when it comes to me. But no, that's
refinement in amongst that hairstyle, Pat.
Hey, look, you know. It's day 101 or 2, I believe. I think it's 102 now.
Haircut.
Yeah. I don't trust myself with a set of clippers. So I feel like you're gonna have to be stuck with this for just a little bit until I can get myself in front of someone that actually knows what they're doing. But no, that for me right there is summer. That's summer in a glass to me. I think it's absolutely banging. It's refreshing. It incorporates a lot of my favorite things. Super bright, light, boozy, of course. Like we said, 47.8%. You know, it's nothing to turn your nose at. But yeah, and
I think it's one of the nicest things, Pat, is that while you're at the barbecue or while you're out in the garden with friends, it's so simple to make without taking yourself away from the party. There's no fear of missing out when you're making these. You just make them, you enjoy them, And honestly, if you put your friends in the driver's seat too, they can make this without too much instruction.
Absolutely, and to that, I also actually make this exactly what you just said, to not make to make sure that I'm not taken away from hosting or whatever it may be. I actually take one of those big 20-liter glass jars that you have with the wee tap on it, and you can very easily batch this to proportion. You know, using those same measurements that we just used, feel free to multiply them, so that it's literally then just on tap. So then you've got the chili bin next to it, you've got a bit of a garnish station with lemons or with your mint and your limes or whatever citrus you have, and then boof, just straight over the top, soda included, garnish it, away you go. Very
that's like 5 bottles of orange liqueur to 15 liters of soda water with about a liter of lime juice. I think I'm making that one for my next barbecue. I'm only inviting 10 friends.
That's just Sunday afternoon, isn't it? No, I'm only teasing. But yeah, that's the beauty about some of these
friends now, right?
But
You're allowd more.
Proportions are right.
But that's the beauty about some of these cocktails as well, is that they're great for individual serves, but they're also great to serve in bulk, I suppose, or as a welcome drink, you know, for those that love to entertain, which there are many.
My party trick is espresso martinis in the blender, Pat. Less ice, and just blitz it until all of the ice is gone, so it'll just melt into it. But you've got a big old jug of espresso martini. If the party's starting to fade, therein comes on the blender.
Well, that's slightly more sophisticated than my party trick, but I won't admit that. I won't admit that on here. That will be for another time, I promise. But speaking of parties, I want to bring you all to the Cardrona party. And for me, the Cardrona party is what we do best. It's what we live. It's what we breathe. It's our absolute passion. It's who we are. Some of which it's in our genetic makeup. Some of which it's in our bloodstream. What I want to introduce to you guys is the Cardrona single malt whiskey. So feel free, because there's only the one dram here. Feel free to either take this wee number and add it all, or don't. Feel free to savor it for a little bit later. I will leave the amount up to you. Me personally, because of the great news about New Zealand coming down out of lockdown, the ability to go and see my loved ones, my family, my friends, to be back at the distillery, which I have not been in such a long time. I have actually taken the whole bottle, so I can cheers to you all. And that is the Cardrona Growing Winds Single Malt Solera. Cheers.
I'll do a little intro, shall I, Pat? So our Solera whiskey, 5 years young. It is our, I suppose, second edition of Solera, in that we had our just hatched Solera, which incredibly was voted one of the top 50 whiskeys at the World Whisky Awards 2020. This is a 5-year-old spirit, a marriage of bourbon and sherry aged spirit together. In that little bottle is enough for 2 drinks, if you like. It is 64.8% alcohol. It is a cask strength, non-chill filtered, all natural color, single malt whiskey. And what we've done there is pretty obvious. We've gone nerdy. We've gone full nerd to give the whiskey nerds like you and I the best experience for single malt from New Zealand. So cask strength, unashamedly, delivered to you. A lot of whiskey in a bottle, obviously a smaller bottle, but for us, we fill it up at least with whiskey. We're not giving you this much water. We're giving you the full dram. And I suppose it's as close to what the distiller sees from a barrel as anyone's going to get from Cardrona Distillery without coming here and actually taking it from a cask with us. The bourbon casks, we use only the best in the world. We have from Breckenridge, Four Roses, Old Forester, Heaven Hill, and Woodford Reserve. The sherry casks, this one I think predominantly is Gonzalez Baez. We do have some Pedro Jimenez casks as well. I'm not sure of the makeup. I should ask of Sarah. I'm of the humble opinion that it's Gonzalez Baez that's gone into this. But I'm happy to be corrected on that. Tash, you could probably wade in just with the nose on it and tell me. It's probably true though, she can.
As much as it pains me to tell you, I think you might be correct. It doesn't,
Yeah,
it's missing the deep raisin character of the PX.
Yeah, I get a lot of sort of that Macallan Gonzalez Baez 18 when I tasted this. Not that I'm drinking that on a daily basis either, but well, why not? You know, it's a Saturday. I love to kind of put a little bit onto the hand and just to warm it up and to remove all the alcohol from it. It's a really, really cool way of getting to know this spirit in that you can remove the alcohol, embrace that flavor on your nose and into your olfactory. You'll get lots and lots of the oak characteristics, the sweetness, the vanilla, the honey, the raisins, the sultanas, the Christmas pudding, and I just love how this one sings. As soon as you add a little touch of water to this, it explodes with more flavor. And you know, we're not telling you have to drink this at cask strength. Obviously, this is not a test of bravery. I always suggest it's a test of intelligence more than anything. When we deliver at 64.8%, ideally we wish for you to have a little sip of water on the side that you can add, and take, I suppose, from the Scotch Whisky Tasting Society, they recommend about 10 drops of water for each dram you have. And that's for a not necessarily cask strength spirit. So this can handle a touch of H2O. Personally, when I'm drinking it versus when I'm actually tasting it, and I do drink it rather regular, but I'll add about 1 part water to 2 parts spirit. And it seems to work out to be about the 40-ish%. And normally I'll see this little mist appear in the glass as I'm doing that little dilution. And it's a beautiful thing to see Scotch mist in a truly New Zealand whiskey. If you pass by the 43% mark, you'll usually see that little accumulation of oils inside the glass, and they'll stay there. Needless to say, we're very proud of our growing wings, and the next spirits to come will certainly impress as well. I've been tasting of things recently, so again, not to say anything about what's in store, but we're in our happy place at the moment. 6 years young now, Cardona Distillery, on our way to being a fully matured distillery, and the long-awaited 10-year-old spirit. Only 4 more years to go for that. I know time flies when you're having fun, and we're certainly having a lot of fun. Yeah, 6 years deep. Joyful.
I'll drink to that, Kenny. And I think on that as well, we should I should make a quick note that just recently we released actually a few weeks back, actually, we just released we released 2 brand new expressions of this growing wings. As we spoke about, Kenny mentioned that we use Breckenridge bourbon, Gonzalez Baez sherry, Oloroso sherry, sorry, for this sweet expression here. But we did release something 3 weeks ago that was very, very special. We took a Pinot Noir cask from Central Otago, which was a single cask bottling. There's only 270 left in New Zealand. Mount Difficulty, sorry, that's my, yeah, to quote the actual winery. And then we took an Old Forester bourbon cask as well, and we bottled that, being our 2 oldest expressions of this exact whiskey. And I believe it's still readily available at Glengarry outlets. So for those of you that are wanting to try that brand new drop, for those of you that are wanting to to join in with our most up-to-date expression of the growing winds whiskey, feel free to jump online, jump into your stores, and grab yourself a bottle, because not only is it a absolutely fantastic drop, it is going to be a fantastic collector's item at some point in the future for you and your loved ones.
For those collectors out there, though, I implore you, please taste it, please drink it, please enjoy it. It is performing incredibly well in Pinot cask. We have got one of the most incredible barrel programs in the Southern Hemisphere. We sit about 20 minutes from our wineries. We can get those barrels to us fresh, like minutes after they've been emptied. They're already on a truck. They're on their way to us. There is no recharring. There is no shaving of the interior of the barrel. We fill them with spirit, and fresh is best, as we say. Not just Mount Difficulty. We've got Felton Road barrels for the future, and like I said, with the best expressions of Pinot Noir in the world. The world recognizes New Zealand as being the finest quality wines on the planet. And soon enough, they'll be saying the same for whiskies. It's all gone quiet, Pat.
Well, absolutely. And slunch the to everyone. That wraps up the actual spirits element. We've taken you from grain to glass. We've taken you through the various different spirits that we make. We've finished on what I believe, and again, forgive me, but my favorite expression of our growing spirits. So yeah, but no, it's been a pleasure. It's been an absolute pleasure. I know that, you know, as much fun as this would have been in person, as much fun as this would have been to actually, you know, share a dram and share this moment with everyone else. You know, we have to improvise in today's day and age, and I'm so thankful that so many of you, some familiar faces, some strange faces, can all sit down around one laptop, one computer, one wardrobe, whatever it may be, wherever you are in your home, to share that experience with us. I think it's fantastic, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all in person. But I'm also, as I'm sure Kenny is too, more excited to see you down at the distillery in person, so we can show you this lovely experience firsthand.
I'm excited to welcome everyone, and I think that that my team are arms wide open and virtual hugs from here in Central Otago. I'm excited to have you join us in the not too very long. We miss you guys, and are excited to show you around.
Is the 6th birthday celebrations just going to be delayed until we can all get there, or?
No, unfortunately, this year, as last year as well, we've had to put a pin. If we couldn't have the Aucklanders, we decided just not to have it at all. But sadly, T, a birthday party happens on your birthday. 5th of November every year is our massive celebration. And well, next year's budget will just have to be bigger.
Yeah.
I don't know. A birthday is like a month-long celebration anyway, isn't it? So
yeah, I think so. As we get older. We're always celebrating. It doesn't take an awful lot for us to pop a bottle of something nice and share the liquids within. What's that, Tash? I'm just warming up my birthday. See you next year. Fantastic. Hey, Tash, you had a go of the Pinot aged whiskey yet, have you?
Yeah, the day it arrived, mate. The day it arrived.
How's it going?
It's not bad.
Not bad. I'll take that. I don't know. You're usually a lady with so many words.
Well, it's all right. Well, I don't want to, you know, I'll give some words away when I do it online. But as soon as I opened it, of course, then I wanted to buy the Old Forester as well, because I was like, oh, let's do a compare and contrast. So
is it on its way?
Not yet.
No.
I got to talk to the accountant. Come on.
Fair enough. I understand.
I'm on a very